Page 212, Allegro in E minor. Looks a bit challenging here. And the next page looks a bit challenging, but if you'll notice the titles on 212 and 213 are the same. It's actually the same piece. It's a duet. So the secondo part, or secondo, depending on what country you're from, the bottom part is on page 212. And the primo part, or the top part, is on page 213. And the way this is written, it looks like you can use the same keyboard, although you can always use different keyboards too. This lesson is only on the part on 212. The next lesson I'll cover the part on 213. So let's look it over. It's one page long. It's got repeat signs, so it's actually twice as long, but it's one page of music to learn. Bass clefs on both staves. That's typical with a duet in the bottom part. You'll get that a lot. Bass clefs on both. Don't have to, but we do here. One sharp in the key signature, and we're ending here on an E chord. I'm guessing we're probably in E minor because it's G major or E minor, and I'm guessing we're in E minor. But do the scales and arpeggios for both as far as I'm concerned, both in 2 octaves up and down. Okay. And common time, or 4/4 time. Now I'm going to take it one hand at a time, make sure I got everything worked out. Left hand or right hand is just chords. 1 and 2 and let the wrist claps. Actually, it would be better if you could hold the arm still and do that. Feels a little bit, and then later on you get this. F sharp. You go back and forth. Then measure 7. 1 and. Just a chord, you just spread out. And then going on past the repeat sign is that again, and then that again. Just getting these chords. And they'll measure 12. Now we got that. If you can fit up here, it's fine. Otherwise, you got to do that. I don't know how big your hands are. And back to the last 2 measures. 1 slowly. 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and 4 E and 1 E and 1 and 1 and 2. Just make sure those 16th notes are all even and controlled and deliberate. You're not just bleh. Even and controlled. Yeah. Left hand. Well, the right hand didn't do a lot but chords. Let's hope the left hand's got something. We're down here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, this is exciting. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, this is great. And measure 7. And I use a 4, by the way, on this because the chord is that, and that's the fingering that I teach and use. So I use a 4 on the D sharp. Some people use 3. I don't, whatever. That's just, if you were my student in front of me, you would use a 4th though. But you can do whatever your teacher tells you to do. And then measure 11. Now on this, you can do a 1, 2, 1, 2 if you don't want to do a 1 on all of them. And they want a thumb. No, don't do that. That's just, no. This is a fast piece. That fingering won't work very well on a fast piece. So it's here. This is measure 12. And then for measure 13, go ahead and use a little finger and then come down. You can do that. I don't want to go from here because that's an 8th note. That's quick. I got a 1/4 note. I can do it more quick, easy. So then you're back. So do a little finger on that E and then a little finger again. And then the last 2 measures, you're here. And again, even. If you can't do it even, slow it down. Whatever. Then we put the hands together and see what this mess sounds like. This is fun. Let's go down to measure 7. It's here. The same. The last 2 measures. it's not so important here because in the next to the last measure, those 16th notes, it's a short run. It's a run, but a short one. A longer run, it would become a little more important, is that when you have both hands doing this, you let one hand lead and let the other hand follow. And generally, it's the hand in front. So if I'm going down, it's the left. If I'm going up, it's the right. In other words, the left hand controls it. The right hand just goes along. It's just going to try and stay up with the left hand. If I were going the other way, it'd be the right hand. And I let the left hand follow the right hand. As I said, here it's not so important because it's very short. But if I have a much longer run here, then it becomes more important to get in the habit of letting one hand lead and the other hand follow rather than trying to keep track of both hands. Because if you do that, eventually you're going to get off and the hands won't be together. You'll be playing a run and the hands aren't, and it shows when they're not. Now, once I have the notes and rhythms and fingerings, and I'll go back through and get rid of the hesitations, then I'll add the articulation. We have these staccatos. They're short staccatos, flexing at the wrist. Here, don't use the whole arm here to flex the wrist. That's a very small motion here. Don't do this if you have to get the feeling of it, but really it's just a little motion. And here I'm on the key and I'm bouncing off. Here I'm boom, 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 and you gotta boom, boom, boom. So, measure 7 is. Then once I get the articulation in, then I'll add the dynamics. And this is soft. Remember, this is a duet. The melody's in the other part. So stay out of the way. You're supporting the other part. So you just stay down here. Nice steady beat going. Hear the drums. You can go up a little bit. On the next measure here, back down to soft. So now you're loud. And here I am, it's heavy, very heavy. But understand that these dynamics, if you look at the next page, they're the same dynamics. So it doesn't work. The dynamic applies to the melody, that's the other part. You got to bring everything down a notch. So you're not going to get loud or very loud. You take it down. Up measure 5, you only go up to about moderately loud here. You're going to go up to loud for measure 7 because it's the other part that gets very loud. And then soft. And you got the crescendos to go up and all that junk too. And then the speed, Allegro, quick. It needs to be accurate, and it has to be both of you doing it accurately. So if the top part, the person playing the top part can't go fast enough, you got to slow it down. You got to stay together. But ideally, it's a melody. So the melody is on the other page. However that melody goes, this is what you want to stay up with. About there, in my opinion. Seems kind of fast but that's what they've done. They've stuck it in the books. Not my fault. They did it too. You don't have to go that fast. If you keep in mind, the speed has to do with the feeling of the piece, not the speed of the beat. We got eighth notes everywhere, and when you divide a beat up, it slows it down. So if I'm going by the eighth notes, that might be good enough. However fast you go, let the top part determine how fast it needs to go based on the melody. But you just need to be prepared because they may want to go lickety-split, so you got to go lickety-split too. The repeat signs, you see that and you know how that works, so really the thing is twice as long as it looks. like that? Let's play it together very slowly and check the notes and the rhythms. I'm not going to do the dynamics. We're not performing it. We will do the repeats. I'll give us 4 counts. And because there's 8th notes everywhere, I'm going to put the metronome on 8th notes. 1 and 2 and ready and go and. And repeat and. And rest and. And 2 and 3 and repeat and. And 2